Today is Thursday, March the 18th, and this is going to be a pretty short video because the only thing we need to look at right now is the McClellan oscillator and the movement of the markets over the day. So we had the bullish pattern that we were hoping to build up, this complex bullish pattern, was defeated. And now we've gone into a simple pattern, but it is just the bears have taken over, and we need to see where we go from here. Tomorrow could easily be a rebound because it was such a big drop today, or it could be going further down into the oversold line. The markets behaved like this today. They are actually going up. The Dow was going up, the NASDAQ was flat, the S&P 500 was starting to recover. It had opened up below its close yesterday. The Dow opened below its close, but moved quickly above that. And then mid-afternoon it fell off. So if you look at Bloomberg, what the fear is inflation and the Fed raising interest rates. And when the Fed raise interest rates, the billions of dollars that are currently being borrowed in margin for people to buy stock, they're going to have to lighten up on those sales because they won't want to carry the interest and the margin payments, the margin requirements. So that's where the concern is, and it looks like it could hit the techs the hardest because the techs are the ones that have done so well so far last year. So the only thing you need to see is that the Dow Jones, this isn't a bad, this is a week, but over the week, this is not a bad week. Look at the Dow Jones. It's off from the beginning of the week, but look, that's not bad. That's not something that you really worry about. Now, the NASDAQ, that's something else. The NASDAQ, here's a daily, and we were looking at its action with inside the cloud, and it's fallen under the cloud, so that's not good. And the chikou span has fallen below the 50. The low today, see if the chikou span got any support on the low. Well, it finished its day on its low. So the chikou span could very well be going down now to catch support on the cloud. But the NASDAQ is the one that's going to suffer the most because it's the one that was so successful last year with all the tech stocks. Now let's take a look at the volatility index, which finished higher up on the day. But at one point it sunk even further down into the comfortable zone, and then it started to move up. That's not all that bad. The S&P 500, now that's not very good. And we're looking at a 1 hour here. If we look at the daily, it's pulled off of its highs, but that's not all that bad. But look where the chikou span finished up on the daily, right at the top of that candle, which indicates that a bounce would be in order. So don't be surprised if there's a bounce tomorrow initially, at least because of the chikou span here getting support on the top of that candle. That is important. You don't see that in the NASDAQ, and you certainly didn't see that. Let's look at the daily. And you didn't see that for sure in the daily of the Dow, which is really actually doing quite well. So we're not going to look at any other charts because it's irrelevant. There wasn't any good news anywhere. What we're looking at is just how does the market relate to this question about inflation. Last week we had the same story and we had a magical resumption. If I look at where my portfolio stands, I lost 2 weeks. So I'm back to where I was 2 weeks ago. It's recoverable. Just keep some shorts on. Hope you've been selling calls against the stock that you have. I haven't sold any shares throughout all of this. I've just sold calls against my shares. And that's how I play, right? That's my trading strategy. So what am I saying about tomorrow? Tomorrow I'm looking for an initial bounce because of the chikou span on the S&P 500, on the candles there. And I'm looking for the McClellan oscillator. It's going to need to get back to zero. It's going to need advancers to lead decliners by roughly 1,300. And today we saw the decliners leading advances by 1,900. So we don't need a reverse of tomorrow. We just need something a little bit better.